tell you something. When I was 8 years old, I think I came up perhaps with the most decisive purpose or moment of my life. I know it had nothing to do with going to med school. That's what my mom's decisive moment. I came up with a scheme, a plan. I knew what I wanted to accomplish. I wanted to go get a job, make a decent income, and then go buy myself crates and truckloads of this. You know how people who, mental health patients who actually try to plan and scheme their suicidal attempt, they have a very elaborate plan. I'm 8 years old and I had an elaborate plan. I was going to hide them under my bed because my mom had a problem with this. So she wasn't supposed to see it. I was going to hide them and eat 2, 3, or 4 every day. That was my goal. That would be worth getting a job for. But guess what happened? I'll tell you what happened. What happened is this. What's this? This is life. These influences, the opportunities, Twix got the better of me. Really. You see, 30-some years later, or going forward 30-some years, I had an opportunity to create other plans, had other decisive moments. And many of you guys who know my projects, you'll probably agree with me that it is in those 30 years that English language came up with a phrase called keep it simple, stupid. What are individuals? I'm an individual. I have a beautiful, simple plan. We are just nothing but a makeup, a microcosm, an element of a larger group. Larger group is a microcosm of a community. Communities are composed of society, nations. We all dream, and we all have simple, beautiful dreams. I believe that the American Muslim community has a very simple, beautiful dream. That's my contention, rethinking community building. Because I believe the American Muslim community wishes to establish itself in this part of the world and flourish, establish its values, its identity, and contribute to society in a meaningful way. And it is no surprise, it should come as no surprise to anybody, that Milky Way type of experiences will hit you from the side. You're not going to get to your Kit Kat. That's simply that easy. These things are going to come from all angles. And the sugar rush is to die for. Rethinking community building. When we start processing what community building means, my group decided to go out and start surveying Muslims, American Muslims. Very widespread, diverse group of people, ethnically, economically, socially. We went out there and created a research study where we interviewed and surveyed 700 plus individuals from across the country, from all ethnic demographic. Many individuals were in leadership positions. Many individuals are consumers of resources. Many individuals were students. Many individuals were from urban communities, many from suburban communities, extremely wide swath of representative American Muslim community. And we asked them 3 questions. This is a very small glimpse of what we were trying to address. The larger study will be published in a couple of weeks and will be presented in Washington, D.C. I'm happy and pleased to give you a glimpse of it. Here's what we asked. We asked, what is it that you use? Your utility, your utilization, number 1. Number 2, what is it that you think you need in terms of social services and or services as a Muslim in this country? And number 3, what do you wish you had? And I'd like you to pay close attention to some of these. What do we see in here? Well, we see that top services used by Muslim consumer population is education, social activities, Quranic classes that it's also education, informal perhaps, informal gatherings, Arabic classes, volunteer programs, gym memberships, quite a wide variety of social but educational focused. Then we asked, What are the needs? Where are the improvements? Pay close attention to this. There are some parallels here. Islamic education, marriage education, elderly care, social services, marriage matchmaking, parenting, Arabic classes, counseling, career counseling. A lot of it depends on educational and social. It's a constant theme that we discovered as top priorities. And then we said, what is your wish list? Again, Arabic classes, Quranic classes, social and marriage education, Islamic education, social activities, professional networking, personal fitness programs. The theme here is, while Muslims feel like those are the institutions we built, at the same time, those are the same categories that are lacking and are wanted, and our Muslims are wanting of them. And that is the wish of the Muslims. It is the same categories as Muslims do not feel that the community is flourishing. This was kind of the way we processed it. This was revealing to us. But here's the kicker. When we did approach and ask individuals, what do you think is lacking? Why are we not flourishing in these fields? An overwhelming number, and mind you, this is a very wide demographic, overwhelming number said the weakness and the lack of collaboration between Muslims and Muslim institutions and amongst Muslim leaders. Lack of collaboration. The number one thing that bears on the Muslims' minds. Let's go back to a story that's familiar to all of us. A study of cooperation and collaboration. Another nascent, young community developing 1400 some years ago. And when the Prophet walked into the Haram, and you had these influential individuals and leaders, the institution makers of that community, conflicting and arguing over a piece of rock, mind you, a very special one, a divine one, Hajar al-Aswad, the black stone. They could not get it to put it back in its place. The Prophet ﷺ said to them, give them a very simple idea. The idea was very simple. Look at the beauty of it. He took a sheet, placed the stone in the middle. Everybody who's a representative member of each one of those tribes gets to hold it. And together, they put it in its place. This is what my group began to think. What is that black stone of ours? Where is that black stone of ours? How do we go discover it? How do we go find it? We realized that as long as there are standards and models for projects and services that exist, there is a collaboration that is automated. It's inevitable. I'll tell you, Muslim clinics has been a movement in this country, about 35 plus Muslim clinics serving close to 200,000 some individuals across the country. There's not a single manual of best practices or operation manual that you can go and open up your clinic. It doesn't exist. Muslim education, most utilized, most developed, not a lot of very standardized formats. As long as the basis, the foundations, and the standards don't exist, collaboration will be difficult to exist. You know, I'm a neurologist, so I've dedicated my life to studying the brain. And here's what I've come to realize. One of the first things we learned is that a given individual uses their brain, 10% of their brain at any given moment. 10%. You can try more, you get a seizure, overloaded brain activity. And then it's an interesting fact. It doesn't mean the rest of the brain's not working. It's just automated. It's functioning. It's doing its learned memory, conditioned responses. It's working at a base level. So you can drive a car. You don't have to think about it, for example. What happens is, then you get these supplements, these mailers, or if you go online and research, supplements and mentors who will promise you that they'll make 30% of your brain work. Right? I mean, just superhuman capabilities. 30%, 40%, 50%. Well, let me give another solution to this. Why don't we get all the 10% working brains, the brightest, the best, most brilliant in their fields, put them on a table and have them develop the best practices model that this community can actually implement and actualize. So we can all actualize, all these communities can actualize their own black stones. And I can actualize my Kit Kats. White Stone is the name of the group. And as the story goes, as many of you might know, the black stone was once white. This is our new project, new endeavor, working with some great individuals in this field, and we hope to make a difference. This community is going to flourish. It has every capability and capacity to make a difference, grand difference, a global difference, and inshallah, we will get there. Thank you so much.